The first thing that I always say to people, I use this word all the time, a little too much, and it's clarity. The first thing is really to have a clear intention of what you want your brand to represent. So some of the questions that I ask my audience and my clients are, what do you want to be known for?
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. So I'm super excited, you guys, because not only am I in person, but I'm with Callie, Coach Callie over here. Hey, Callie Marie on Instagram. And Callie is a business coach, but not just your typical business coach. She is a business coach that helps coaches make marketing fun again and like bring the magic back into marketing and into your business. And she has such a beautiful energy. And she is actually the head business coach for QCA. So if you didn't know, we offer live business coaching sessions once a month for our students to opt into, to be part of. And so I'm bringing her on today to just share about her amazing journey, and we'll share how we met, how we connected, and how we became friends, and now she works for QCA, and how many lives she's touched through her coaching and businesses that she's helping to elevate. So welcome.
Wow. What an intro. I have to say, you said make marketing fun again. That's literally a little slogan that I use in my marketing program.
It's so good.
And you didn't even know that.
I didn't know that.
I love it.
That's awesome.
What an intro. I'm so excited to be with you.
Yay. So welcome. So for everyone who hasn't met you yet, share a little bit about your journey to becoming the coach that you are today and helping the people that you're helping today. Because I know that you've had quite the journey. You've had a couple different business models before you've landed on this. So share a little bit about your journey.
Yes. Okay, so quickly, I'll go way back. About 10 years ago was when I graduated college.
Okay.
And I was always the person who just thought, I'll go into the corporate world. I'll get a good marketing job. And that's like what life is supposed to be, or that's the path that I was supposed to be on. So I was very fortunate. I had an intern at a big tech company throughout college, got this marketing job after school. Hated it. Like, hated the environment, hated just, I was so unhappy. And I spent several years there kind of feeling like, oh, well, something's wrong with me. You know, something's wrong with me. I should be more grateful. I should be like, wow, what an opportunity to have this job. Like, and I pushed off the feelings for a long time that there was something else out there for me, but I deep down knew that there was something else out there for me. So about 5 years in, I'm a huge traveler. I always wanted to travel the world. Got 5 years into that job, and
5 years.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know you were there for 5 years.
Yeah, I made it to the 5-year mark.
Wow.
But that was my breaking point. And it was at that point that I was lucky enough to be in this position where I had saved this money and I could leave and just go travel.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, and kind of do like a reset. Like,
but was that scary for you to like be like, okay, I'm leaving? Or you were just done?
I was just done. I knew that I would be okay. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I did have this knowing that I'd be fine traveling by myself and that something else was going to work out, even if it was going back to a similar job like that, which was the last thing I wanted to do. But I always knew that it was possible.
Yeah,
right?
that's cool.
Yes. It's like that idea of where you are right now, you can always come back to this. So like,
that's comforting.
yes, go out and try the thing and you can always come back here if needed. So
it's a good lesson for everyone.
It is.
Yeah.
Huge lesson. So I went out, I traveled for about 4 months throughout Europe, a couple of countries in Asia, and I gained no clarity on what to do next. It was an amazing experience, but I loved travel so much that once I did get home, this took me a little while. I was doing some freelance design and marketing work, but in the meantime, I was like, okay, wait, this is my passion. What I can create something. Like I had never thought about being an entrepreneur, but I just had this thought like this could turn into something. And so I created my first business in 2019, The Lone Travel Girl. It was all solo female travel inspired apparel. I had this community on Instagram and it blew up pretty instantly. I grew that audience. I loved it. And at the same time, I knew that I still wasn't doing what would stretch me the most, what I wanted to do forever. And then the pandemic hit, 2020, and then I was forced to
Go home.
like stop selling.
Oh yeah.
Stop selling the apparel because everything had shut down. Like all of the warehouses, I couldn't sell to customers without risk. And so it was kind of this moment where it was like, it was frustrating that I really couldn't continue immediately with my business, but at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise because it gave me that moment to think, okay, is this what I want to be doing forever? And it took one comment from a coach because I had joined this group program about Facebook ads because I thought that was the direction I was going to go with this program. And it was this coach, and pay attention to these small comments and suggestions from people because this changed my life. This woman, she said, have you ever thought about one-on-one coaching? Because I've
said that to so many clients in the past. Have you ever thought about one-on-one coaching?
Yeah. And because at that time I then had people in my audience for The Lone Travel Girl who were asking me, how the hell did you build this business so quickly?
How did you do this?
And she noticed that and saw an opportunity in it. And I thought she was nuts. I was like, one-on-one coaching? What are you talking about? I can't do that. And that was around June 2020. That was like only 2 years ago. And so that is what set me on the journey to starting a coaching business, helping people with their businesses. So I'll pause for a moment because we'll talk more about this story, but basically the last half of 2020, I was doing what I thought was coaching, and it wasn't really coaching. It was helping people with strategy, which is a beautiful thing, and it is very helpful, but I was advice giving, I was sharing my opinion with people and, telling them what I would do in my business for their business.
You were more mentoring them and consulting them.
Yes.
Versus like coaching.
Yes. And it felt like something was missing. I felt very aligned I felt like this is what I want to do and what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it didn't feel as powerful as I knew it could be.
I'm curious, like when you were working with people in that capacity, did you feel drained from working with them, or did it still like light you up, or did you feel like you could be making more of a difference with them?
I was lit up because I felt so much closer to what I really wanted to do all my life, and that was in that realm of helping people and helping people be better and get what they want and do everything that they want to do. When I was sitting in sessions with people, I felt pretty anxious, and I knew that there was something wrong with that. I felt like I'm not going to have the right answer. My mind was constantly racing, and I felt this pressure of am I going to say something that's going to lead them down the wrong path? Like, so that felt, so it was like the overall, I was feeling good. Mm-hmm. But then in those moments where I was working with clients, I knew something was still a little off.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Good to know.
Yeah. So that then led me into, oh my gosh, this was early 2021. And it was a rough time, because I felt like I had finally gotten to this place where my life had kind of come full circle. So I was a psychology major in college. I was always so just intrigued by the human mind and human behavior, and also had that desire to help people. And I never knew what to do with that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. And it was like, oh, here I am now. Like, this all makes sense. I've found coaching, but it didn't feel like it was working. I wasn't gaining the clientele that I thought I was going to. It was really hard. And it was around this time that I happened upon Jen Casey's podcast, a friend of yours.
Yes.
And you two were talking about coaching, and you specifically were talking about QCA and what you do, mm-hmm. and how coaching is a craft, and how there are a lot of people out there who are calling themselves coaches, and they're not really coaching.
Yes.
I still remember standing in my kitchen being like, mind blown. Holy shit, this is the thing I want. This is the gap.
This is the missing piece.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so crazy. That's so cool.
Yes.
And you had never known me before.
I never knew you. I was in Big Coach Energy Live that next week.
Okay.
Because I listened to the podcast. I looked you up. You were running that live event the next week. And then I think I joined QCA on day 3.
That's so crazy.
Yes. It all came together so beautifully.
I'm so happy that happened.
I know. And look at us now. Sitting on a couch. Chilling, podcasting.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. We're serious.
Yes.
We're so serious.
The most serious.
The most. So that's amazing how the universe kind of guided you. Like, your soul was probably like, or your subconscious and your soul was like, there's something missing. I need more. And then it always guides you to what you need. And, people are either going to take that move or not. They're going to take that leap or not. And you said, I'm all in. I'm taking the leap. You joined QCA.
Yep.
Yeah. And then what happened?
And then my coaching became so powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. So I started QCA July 2021, about a year ago. And even in the first 2 weeks, this was a really special experience, actually. I had a one-on-one client who I had started with for about 6 weeks before I started QCA. Mm-hmm. I believe we're about 2 weeks into the program. So we had learned some of just the basics, like the foundations of coaching.
Yeah.
But it changed my session so much. And I'll never forget being in a session with this one client and her saying to me at the end, wow, this was such a good session. The questions you had were so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening.
It's working.
It's working.
Yes. Oh, that makes my heart so happy. I think you posted or you shared about that in QCA, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. And that was without learning all of the amazing techniques that we learned. It was just the little shifts in the way I was asking questions in those first couple of weeks. So yeah, those 5-6 months were really transformational, and like in so many more ways than just
learning how to coach.
My coaching.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It's crazy how much you transform in the process, right? Like, you're learning the tools, but you're also having your own experience with them worked on you, and like you're transforming, and then you're getting to practice. Like, everyone's at a different level in QCA. So Callie had clients already when she came into the program. A lot of students don't. Are you crying?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you.
I'm like, cry. Don't cry. No, I started crying because my mind went down a different path. I was just thinking, tell me other people cry on your podcast, please.
Everyone cries. I'm gonna cry now.
I was just thinking about how, because I also cried like an absolute crazy person on our graduation call, to that point of growing in so many different ways. That's not just my coaching. Yeah. I had shared this with the group. Like for my whole life, I was someone who I was so scared to speak in public. I was always in my head. I mean, I'm still in my head a little bit, but we're working on it.
Look how good she is, y'all. Look how good she is.
And like, without even intentionally going into QCA thinking, oh, I want to overcome these fears, it happened. I got to the end of these 5-6 months and I realized that so much more had transpired.
Yes. And I think that so many people have that fear of like putting themselves out there and caring what other people think. I don't know if that was a big part of yours, or you just, like, what was your fear of like speaking?
Wow, what a great question. I've been asking myself that my whole life. I think what the root was how are people judging what I say? Are they going to think I don't know enough? Are they going to think I'm talking about things that I know nothing about? It was it was this judgment that almost never actually exists, right? Because everyone, we're always so wrapped up in our own stuff.
Yeah.
And I think watching the students in QCA and getting super freaking vulnerable with people gave me this perspective finally at 31 years old that, wait, like, no, you know, yes, everyone's wrapped up in their own stuff, but it's like just opening yourself up and just being you and being truthful and letting go of that pressure. Like, that's when the growth happens.
Yeah, that's when people can really connect with you.
Yes.
That's what creates the connection.
Yes.
Whether it's with the people in your community or your clients or like future clients that find you and they're like, I really resonate with you because you're being you.
Yep.
They're not judging you.
Exactly.
Of like thinking you don't know enough. That's your judgment. They're more saying, wow, I resonate with that because like I also feel similarly.
Absolutely. It was just
wow.
Oh
my God. What? I love this.
I thought I was going to be able to hide my little tears. Are you crying?
Can't hide from me.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
You can run, but you can't hide. Are you crying?
Oh, that was good. Needed to get that out.
Yeah.
I can't think about that last call and my feels without tearing up.
Yeah. We definitely all cry on graduation day. Like, it is a real thing. I cried so much after that call. I actually recorded a video of myself and I was like, I only wanted to make a program ever that had people transform. And I didn't know what it was going to look like. I never posted it. Maybe I will one day.
Oh my gosh. Is today the day? Is today the day?
I don't know.
Okay, no pressure.
I might need some coaching around that. I know I'm in good hands. So, okay, amazing. So, and obviously you met amazing people in QCA that have become like besties.
Yes.
And even clients. People have hired you from the program.
Yes, clients, besties.
Yeah.
It's so cool when you're in any container. It's like the web that starts, and this one's connected to this one, and then you meet this new person and
you have a network.
Yes, exactly.
So powerful. I think something is to be said about, like, you know, when our coaches are so good that like other coaches in our program end up hiring them. Yes. I feel like that is like, I need to like market that more. That is like a huge compliment.
Yeah, big time.
You know? And I'm so proud of it. Like I feel like, it lights me up. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. So I know after QCA, you were like launching a program.
Yes. So for the little over a year that I had this business coaching business, I was one-on-one coaching. I wasn't really sure what I wanted my thing to be.
Yeah.
And speaking of, stepping more into who you are and being you and being truthful about that, I did a lot of thinking on that and just trying to be more me. And when I stepped into that, it was like the ideas just started flowing. And so I created my signature marketing program, Magical Marketing Energy, which is, so just a side backstory to this. I had been in a couple of business / marketing / sales containers. And some were great. I mean, they're all great experiences because I walked away with learning lessons.
Yeah, you learned how you don't want to be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I really never resonated with the cookie cutter. Here's the framework you have to follow. Here's how you have to market yourself. Here's how you have to create content. That whole thing, it just felt like something was off. But back then, part of me didn't know better.
Right, you needed that.
Yeah, so I thought, I have to do it this way. And after QCA, I kind of just said, fuck it.
Fuck all the rules.
Yeah, I just said, fuck all the rules. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is like my new point of view in business.
Yes. This is your thing.
Yes, this is my thing. Let's say fuck the rules.
Yeah.
And that became then like my soapbox
Yeah.
that I would stand on all the time. And so that is how Magical Marketing Energy came to be. I'm just a huge Harry Potter fan, so I love using anything magic and magical.
Yes.
Some of my other, I have a free content guide that's the Chamber of Content Secrets.
I love it. So this is a perfect example of being yourself, right?
Yes.
She's owning, she loves Harry Potter, and other people that love Harry Potter are gonna resonate so hard with that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And even the people who don't.
Yeah. It's fun for them.
They're like, oh, you used something that you like and you just made it yours.
Exactly.
Yeah, that. I should do that too.
Well, that's the whole thing about being innovative in your marketing and your branding, which we can get into in a little bit, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I had this idea and it just hit me, and it was this idea of those people who have what in my mind was this magical marketing energy. When you land on someone's Instagram, not knowing them.
Yep.
And you look through their content a little bit, you watch their stories, and you're immediately magnetized by this person. And it's as simple as that. That is the energy. That's what we want our clients or our future clients to feel. We want them to see us and immediately be like, wait, I want what she's got.
Yes.
And it was so interesting how even just describing it that way to my audience, I all of a sudden had people who were like, wait, I want in on this. And it wasn't me getting up there saying, okay, these are the 4 steps that you're going to take in order to gain clients. It was like, wait, this is how it makes sense in my head. And this is exciting for me to explain it in this magical way. And so here it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
That is so good.
I love it.
Wow. And so, okay. So for everyone listening who's like, all right, well, I'm really over my marketing. They don't know where to start. Let's start with people who don't know where to start, right? About how to show up, how to brand themselves, how to put themselves out there. What are some things that they can lean into to make it feel more natural?
Ooh, okay. Good question. So the first thing that I always say to people, I use this word all the time, a little too much, and it's clarity. The first thing is really to have a clear intention of what you want your brand to represent. So some of the questions that I ask my audience and my clients are, what do you want to be known for? Let's throw away the question of what should your niche be, and let's answer, what do you want to be known for? And even if you just take this question today and write 4 or 5 main points that if you were coming onto someone's podcast, right, how would you want to be introduced, right? What do you want to be known for? Because there are going to be specifics in that. So that's number 1. Did you have a thought?
Yeah, I'm just give an example of someone that you've done that with, and some things that they've said as their example, just so they have something to work off of. What do you want to be known for?
Okay, let me think about this. So I have a client right now who she was a nurse during the pandemic. And what she's wanting to build right now is this business that supports people who are nurses, who are doctors, who went through these past 2 years to really prioritize their mental health, get outdoors more, like understand how to do that. So she wants to be known as the COVID nurse who prioritizes her mental health. Like that's just a simple statement.
Yeah. Very simple.
Right. So
but it's also specific.
It's also specific, right? And it's also going to resonate with people who have been through that experience, or maybe not have been through that experience, but it's going to stand out to people, right? It immediately, it's like it's what she stands for.
Yeah.
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 So that is number one.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm just thinking for people who are like more spiritual coaches, like if I was to ask myself that question 4 years ago, of like, what do I want to be known for? I would say like, I want to be known as the manifestation teacher, you know, on the internet.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. It can be many things. So I think about what I want to be known for, and there's lots of layers to this. So on one hand, it can be, I want to be known as the manifestation teacher who is like anything, who's I had someone recently actually say, I'm the manifestation coach who's not that woo. And I was like, ooh, that's going to resonate with someone, right? So there's that layer, but then there's also, you can ask yourself the question of, what's a big trend in your industry that you don't really vibe with, that you disagree with?
Ooh, I love that.
And you can be known for that, right? A differing opinion. One of the things that I had done, I've kind of moved away from this messaging recently, but in some of my previous business coaching containers, it was all like 4 steps to 10K a month. And I hated that pressure of, oh, I have to make $10,000 a month. What? So I kind of adopted this slogan of, I'm the anti 10K a month coach.
Yeah.
It didn't mean I don't want my clients to make money.
Yeah.
But I had so many people who, you know, after creating content around this idea, who were like, oh my gosh, I resonate with this so much. I don't want to feel the pressure to make that much money. I don't want to feel like I'm failing if I'm not making that much money.
Right. Or if I follow those 4 steps and it doesn't work for me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So just paint the picture for yourself of what do people, here's another good question. What do you want people to think, to know, to believe about you when they land on your page?
Ooh, write that down.
You guys are getting questions that I ask my clients, okay?
Yes, this is good shit.
That's number one, because your question was actually more along the lines of, how do you then feel comfortable showing up? You need that clarity first, because then it gives you
stuff to work
with, like kind of I don't even want to say boundaries to stay in. I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, but
it gives you like a framework.
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah.
Like I was just on an application call with someone and they jumped right to like, well, I feel like an imposter if I join QCA and become a coach, because you know, I really just don't want to market myself at all. And like, I've never wanted to put myself out there. That's like something that I would be like totally not cool with, not like afraid to do basically. And in my mind, I'm like, you're cutting yourself off before you even start.
Yeah.
Like you're worrying about something that's going to change so much and evolve so much before you even allow yourself to explore this possibility.
So true.
I don't know why I said that.
Wow. Well, someone who's listening right now needed to hear it.
Yeah. But how is that related to what you were just saying?
Well, so your initial question was around how can they show up? Like, how can they feel comfortable showing up, right? How can they be themselves showing up? And my response was, well, first, no matter what you're trying to do, we need clarity.
Right. So they're saying that from a place of not having any clarity.
Yes.
And I find that, like, you're right. Like, once you have the clarity comes through, we were talking about this earlier, clarity comes through action. Mm-hmm. And like, once you start to take action, you start to get more and more clear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you.
Yes. This is, okay, here's the second part to answering your question. And this is something that, truthfully, I've only stepped into recently, and it's been a huge, huge game changer. And that is when you are going about your day, you're doing work, you're working with clients, whatever it is, when you have a thought hit you that is like, oh, I feel like people really need to hear this, or oh, we all know what those random thoughts are. It's letting that feeling hit you, and then immediately sharing it.
Not overthinking it.
Yes, that's how to create connection with people on Instagram. Yeah, just and then what's cool about that is then the intention is you're just sharing your behind the scenes. You're just sharing your life, and you're creating your personal brand just by taking action when those intuitive hits you, and it does the work for you. It does the marketing for you, truly.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's wild. It's so much easier. This is why also in Magical Marketing Energy I say fun and easy, fun and easy. It sounds so cliche, but it's like, yeah, of course business isn't easy and growth isn't easy, but we can make these smaller moments so much easier than we typically do.
It's so true. And I think that like tapping into the energy of fun and ease while you're creating is a really good energy to be in, because I think a lot of people create content from a place of like, this is hard, or I don't know what I'm doing.
Yep. And creating content from a place of what should I say to get people to respond? Instead of what do I want to share to serve people with no expectation of getting anything in return. First of all, it's such a pressure off.
Listen to that. I just wanted to say, that was good.
If you think about content as a creative outlet for you and your business, and this takes intentional work. It's not like, oh, it's just a switch and now you're going to think about content this way. But if you're sitting down and you're wanting to put something out there today, really think, how can I serve my audience today? And have no expectations about, you know, you set yourself up so that you're giving them all the opportunities to engage with you, of course, but it's not from a place of, okay, should I say this so that they do this?
Yeah. It's more inspired.
Totally.
Yeah. I find that my stuff that comes out like on the fly that I just put out immediately, that does the best. And I'm like, wow, that was like the least curated post I ever had.
That's what people want now more than ever.
It's wild.
Yeah. They want to just see, they want to see behind, they want to see your everyday. They want to see you in the moment. And that's why
that's why we're time lapsing.
Yeah, I love we're doing this time lapse. Oh wait, you're kind of out of frame when you're sitting back. Okay.
Lean
That's
back.
Fine.
Lean back. I love that so much. There's so many good nuggets in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what else do you think is important for someone to know who is, you know, in the early stages of marketing themselves and they are ready to like actually start calling in clients and income? Yeah.
I think commitment is everything.
Consistency.
It is, yes, it's a commitment no matter what.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Some people will say, okay, you're going to have to build for a year, or you're going to have to warm up your audience for them to buy. And sure, in some cases, you are going to have people in your audience and they're going to be sticking around for a long time. And then one day, a long time in the future, they're going to buy. But keep in mind that the timeline, we just don't know how it's going to work. Yeah. So you have to be committed no matter what. Committed to the content.
Yeah.
That is how people are going to find you. Committed to showing up even when you're not getting anything back from people. Because when you are showing up as if you already have all the clients, then those opportunities arise where someone finds you, they see you in the moment, and they're a client immediately because that you're showing up.
The energy you're putting out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a great example of that, right? Like, you never met me. You didn't know anything about QCA, but you saw it. You were attracted to it. And you were like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are like, I've been looking at QCA for 2 years and I think I'm finally ready, you know? So it's just like, it's the cycle.
Yes.
That you don't have control over.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
We don't have control. We don't have control over other people's behaviors. Like I said before, we can create those opportunities. We always want to create opportunities for engagement on your stories always, and you know, open up the invitation in your content, sell, and at the same time know it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And so the commitment's so huge, because there's so many people that end up giving up in this space simply because they're looking at everyone else's timelines, and it's like, but I've been doing this for 6 months and nothing has happened, so therefore that means it's not going to work. And that's not true. It's not true. You got to stay committed, because it is going to happen. We just don't know when.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like my business journey and my fertility journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's just like, you can't give up on it. It's your dream. It's what you want. It's what you know is going to happen. And you just have to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that. The commitment's so key. I think that is so true. I remember starting this podcast and thinking to myself, how the hell am I going to come up with an episode every single week? Like, what am I going to talk about every single week? Like, that commitment scared me, but it was something that I was willing to work with. Like, the fear that I was willing to work with. So it's like, it comes up in all these different ways where you get to really show the universe your commitment. And I think that that's when the universe will meet you halfway.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because it's an energetic thing too. Because when you're putting in the work and putting in the work and putting in the work, and you are committed, that compounds. That energy compounds, and it's like the compound effect, where then it all just like starts to flood in.
Yeah. And I find that's a difficult concept for people to believe and accept when you're not there yet. And I totally get it, because I heard that a lot a couple of years ago, and it's very easy to be like,
discouraged.
Easy for her to say, look at where she is, but truly,
we're speaking from experience.
Yes. So believe it.
We wouldn't be telling you this if it wasn't true. And I remember watching my friend Catherine in the very beginning. I was an OG Manifestation Babe fan, and then she turned into my friend, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. But I remember watching her live videos, and she was looking into the camera, and she was like, you just have to show up. Like, you just have to show up. You just have to show up, and you have to stay. Like, basically what we're saying now. And it hit me in a way. I may have heard that a million times before, but it just hit me in a way that I was like, no, this is really going to happen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What? I just got chills.
Yeah.
It is. And it did.
And it did. And so hopefully this hits you in that way too. Like, we're literally your subconscious mind right now. We're telling you, like, just stay the path.
Yeah. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, so many things to say. I still remember the day that this was early on when I started my first business 3 years ago, and I was so I didn't know what was happening. I felt so discouraged every day, but there was a day that I wrote down consistency and commitment on a piece of paper, just those words, just to signify, like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, little baby Cal. Wow.
Yeah, she was so wise.
She was wise.
Yeah. She had it.
And it's that question of, like, okay, if in 5, what if it happened? What if you knew it was going to happen in 1 year from now? What if you knew it was going to happen in 5 years from now? Wouldn't you still just keep showing up?
Yeah. My favorite song for entrepreneurship, and if you're a new listener, you haven't heard this, but if you've been with me a long time, you know this. Do you know what I'm going to say? One of my favorite songs?
I don't think so.
It's the Avicii song that's Wake Me Up, and it's the start of it. It's like, feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart, right? I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where it starts. And it's like, that's the journey. Like, you're in the dark and you don't know where you're going, but you're being guided by your heart.
We need to listen to this song after the
It's
podcast
so good.
and dance around. I will never listen to that song the same again.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm like, this song's about entrepreneurship.
It is. Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. So this has been such a good conversation. So good.
This was amazing.
Yay.
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you.
I need to come visit more.
Yes. I told Callie last summer. So last summer, a year ago.
Fall.
Yes, but a year ago QCA started for you.
Yes.
And then in the fall, we had our 3-day live event, and Callie was visiting her brother who lives close to me, and we went out to dinner.
Yeah.
And it was so great. And I was like, you should come back next summer. And then you came to the retreat, and then your friend had a bridal shower nearby, so you're able to stay, and you stayed over. And it was just such a good time to like just be together. And I just adore you, obviously. I love you.
Yeah, this has been so fun. It's any opportunity, and this is why anytime I tell someone, no, I will come visit, because I know the power of actually being in person, and it's just different, and so much happens. And look at this conversation we just had.
Totally. It's so cool. So I have to ask you, what makes Callie a badass manifester?
Oh, wow. What makes Callie a badass manifester? I think it goes back to my level of commitment. Mm-hmm. It goes back to that word.
Yeah. Because
it's my commitment to knowing that the universe is going to meet me halfway, like you said. And look, I wasn't always like this. I used to operate in a way where it was like, I need to get the results, and if I don't, that means all of these bad things about me. Mm-hmm. And now I feel so much more like that badass manifester because I'm able to zoom out and look at my journey as I'm moving in the direction I want to be moving, and I trust that. And that's it. That's it.
It takes so many people so long to get to that place of like, if you can just trust the journey that you're moving in, seriously, there is no other way. There's no other way.
Yep.
Yeah. So powerful. Yeah. High five.
Oh my gosh.
Wish I could high five all my guests.
I know. High five. That was a good one.
That's a good one. So where can everyone connect with you and work with you and learn more about you?
Yes, come find me on Instagram at Hey Callie Marie. It's CALLIE. And just DM me there. I mean, you can find my email on there, but I'm always up in my DMs. If you're wanting to work with me, you want to learn about the different programs I have. I love voice memoing in the DMs.
Yes, me too. Me too. Yeah, so slide into her DMs.
Slide in.
Amazing. Well, I'm so grateful for you. So grateful you're here. And if you ever do join QCA or you are in QCA, you will meet Callie because she is the business coach for QCA. So you'll get some time with her. Those are live calls, and we're so excited about adding that to the program because it's important, right? Like, people are working on their coaching skills and they also want to be working on their business at the same time. So we implement feedback we get and we make it happen. And Callie's the bomb. So
wow.
Stoked.
Thank you.
Stoked.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Tag us. Let us know what your favorite part of this episode was. And we will catch you on the flip side. Bye. Woo. We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.